What's going on, people? I want to give my brief opinion on defunding the police. This is the benefits of defunding the police. Now, I'm not for defunding the police. I actually support righteous law and order, and I support law enforcement. But there's a benefit behind the threatening of defunding the police. The benefit behind the threatening of defunding the police is putting a lot of these arrogant cops on notice. There's videos out there that show when you have these corrupt cops abusing their authority. And you hear so many civilians say, "You work for us. We pay your wages." And you have these arrogant cops. I even recall one saying that you don't pay our wages. We don't work for you. So this is to set a lot of these arrogant cops on notice. Now, I'm sure that a lot of y'all have your own opinions on the benefits and non-benefits of defunding police. I'm against defunding the police, but I also believe too that the police need to police the police. Because when you support corrupt cops, when you support punk police, and I call these punk police the ones that take the job just to be able to abuse their authority. Those are the ones I refer to as punks. But when you look at overall law enforcement, it's needed in the black community. Because if you notice that since this George Floyd nonsense, crime and murder increased in the black community. There's more black people now that's being killed at the hands of other black people than before this George Floyd incident took place. So there's a benefit behind having police to call upon. It's like that video where the white woman pulled her firearm on those black females that were being threatening and aggressive towards her. Now, they called the police. Now, I'm sure these are some Democrats, some Black Lives Matter folks that talked about defunding the police, but yet they use the police for their own selfish, unrighteous gain. And now this white chick and her husband was arrested. Now, I'm hoping that they get off. I'm hoping they get off. And those of you that have watched my videos for a while, I don't take sides when it comes to colors. I've made a video in the past that says you never bet on black. Stop betting on black. And when I refer to black people, when I refer to stop betting on blacks, I'm referring to this whole Black Lives Matter nonsense, because there's a lot of black people that's losing their life in CHOP and following Black Lives Matter. See, so I don't support it at all. I support law enforcement. I support righteous law and order. But there is a benefit behind the threatening of defunding the police, because it puts a lot of these corrupt cops on notice, and hopefully it will make these cops that are not corrupt keep their fellow officers in line. You know, the whole blue line thing, I understand that. And in a way, I support that, because you have gangs that support each other. You have a lot of these black communities that stand by, and when a young black male or female get killed, no one knows anything. No one says anything about the drug dealer, the gang violence that take place in the black community. Everybody, your lips are sealed. You're not supposed to snitch. But yet you expect the cops to not have a blue line to be able to protect each other And unfortunately, on both sides, and the cops are supposed to be better than that, but on both sides, you have it where they have their little no snitching policy, right? But I think that this puts cops on notice to keep their fellow officers in check, and hopefully it would discourage those white supremacist cops, or these people that are white supremacists and they join the police force, and black people that join the police force just to abuse the authority. It puts them on notice, because if you know your fellow officer is going to rat on you, maybe you will be not so quick to do wrong, to plant weapons on innocent victims, black people, or abuse or physically abuse black people, or psychologically abuse black people. Now, when it comes to the chokeholds, the more I think about it, the more I think that it's needed to a certain degree. And I know that there's a lot of people that's going to disagree on this, but it's needed to a certain degree, because when you have someone that's violent, aggressive, and that's coming at a law enforcement officer to harm him, yeah, he has every right to defend himself, even if it means putting your behind in a chokehold until you submit. Once you submit and he have you apprehended, then the chokehold stops. But until you're put in check, I don't see anything wrong with putting him in a chokehold, as long as you don't take his life, you know. But he has to, like, once you got him down, he wrestled you, tried to get your firearm, he was swinging at you and trying to, yeah, you need to subdue him. Shooting him, it should be the last resort. See, cops should fire their firearm. That should be the very last resort. Unless somebody's got a knife or somebody has a firearm that's trying to take your life, then you have every right to defend yourself. But if that person is unarmed and he's resisting and he's fighting you back, yeah, once you get him down, you should be able to put him in a chokehold until you get him apprehended. Once he submit, then you release him from that chokehold. So I think that chokehold should be limited, because you have some very evil people out there, man. And you see, the only people that's really protesting to defund the police are, in most cases, these are criminals. And these are people that support criminal activity. So those are my thoughts and views and opinions on defunding the police and even the chokehold, man. I think it's needed to a certain degree, man. Once you get them apprehended, I mean, even if you have them on their back and you wrestling, trying to get the cuffs on them, you know, yeah, you should be able to take his chin and pull his neck back until he submits. You know, once he like give you his, and you put him in cuffs, it's over. It's over. There's no need to remain on that man's neck or keep him in a chokehold. I don't care how many times he yelled, "I can't breathe." If you can't breathe, then you need to submit. Once you realize you can't breathe after he's got you in that chokehold, you just like, here, just take it, man. I'll just go to court and I'll handle it in court if I feel that these cops are wrong. Right? So I'm against defunding police, but I think defunding police, or the threat of defunding the police, has its benefits. I support law enforcement, and I support righteous law and order, not what these arrogant cops have been doing. So this puts them on notice to let them know that you really have no power. The power that you do have is the power that the people gave you. And see, the reason why it went so long is because the people remained silent. The people weren't willing to stand up and fight for their rights. You know, so feedback and tell me what you think. I know some of y'all are going to disagree with me, but that's okay. Until next time, I'm fearless.